So this event is called the State of Business Forum, and today I want to take some time to discuss a little bit about the state of business or the state of economy in Oklahoma. We've been certainly seeing some progress in some areas, and there's some real wins that are worth celebrating. But when we zoom out and examine the bigger picture, over the last few decades, the reality is kind of stark. Oklahoma's trajectory has been stagnant. Recently, Emily Crouch and I, our Senior Vice President of Government Affairs, had the pleasure of having breakfast with Governor Frank Keating. And during that conversation, he shared a key metric with us that really guided his leadership during his time as governor. In fact, he said it was the single most important metric that he used to judge Oklahoma's success, and that was per capita personal income. So let's take a look at the numbers. And as you see, in 1995, during Governor Keating's first term, Oklahoma's PCI was 18,152, and that ranked us 47th in income growth nationwide. But if you fast forward to 2023, Oklahoma's PCI has grown to 60,545, but our national ranking is only 41st. So that's 6 places in 30 years, and I would argue that's not progress that we should be really proud of. But the question is, well, what do we do about that? And that's been a topic of hot discussion at the forefront of the conversations with our board, our staff at the state chamber in recent months. What do we do to focus on the policies that will help make a measurable difference for Oklahoma? How do we position Oklahoma to be truly competitive on a national scale? And most importantly, we went around and asked others and ourselves and others, what is Oklahoma's strategic plan for economic growth?
I think if you asked 50 people what our economic plan was for the state, you might get 50 different answers.
There's no proof. I don't see us moving up the chain, up the ladder, really. And so I don't know that we have a really good plan.
As far as a great plan, I don't know that we have a very strong strategic long-term plan for growth. I think there's a lot of maybe little pieces to a plan, but maybe not one overarching comprehensive plan for the state.
I don't think it's clear really to anybody. I've been in a lot of conversations, and I think there are many talented people in the state. There is the ability to continue the development and the just modernization of the Oklahoma economy, but it's going to take a plan, and it's going to take some kind of a unification of resources. And really, mostly what I see when I talk to people is a lot of individuals or small groups of people that are doing interesting things, but it's not fitting into a larger framework.
I would love for the state of Oklahoma to create a comprehensive economic development plan, marshal the proper resources with the right personnel, the right team in place.
We need to develop a plan to know where we're going, what we're trying to get accomplished.
That is really, I think, the next step for us, is to funnel and harness and focus the energy and the potential and the talent towards a few areas where we really have a great shot to win and be competitive in the years ahead.
I would say right now there is no plan for the state of Oklahoma. This is our time to come together and build one.
So, as you can see, the reality is kind of sobering that we don't lack a cohesive economic development plan. The good news is we're all working on one. There's been great progress in the legislature and the governor's office about building that structure. We want sustained, actionable economic growth plan. And if there's a plan, if there was a plan, I think you can see from the stage, we're not really sure. It isn't well socialized. If Oklahoma's business leaders don't know what it is, then that's a problem. So, to address this, we've embarked on a bold, kind of ambitious journey to create a framework, what I call our North Star, is to guide our policy work at the Chamber, but it'll also help shape Oklahoma's economic future. We've partnered with some of the best minds in the world, including Dr. Christian Kettles, who is a key member of the Michael E. Porter team at the Institute for Strategy and Competitiveness at the Harvard Business School. We've got local folks at OSU and OU we're going to get involved as well. The Institute's work in the past has really helped nations, regions, cities chart strategic paths to greater competitiveness. So we're currently in the diagnostic phase of this transformative effort, but as you might imagine, just like Governor Keating's measurement, some of the findings are a little bit troubling. And so the goal is to develop a comprehensive data-driven competitiveness report. So some of the interesting takeaways, go back to that first slide. We're making some progress. Go back to the other one. There we go. So, for instance, in labor force participation, Oklahoma is actually leading on that. We're getting more people that are available to work into the workforce. That's a good thing, and actually we're one of the leading states for that. But where we suffer is in personal income per capita and average private wage. So more people are working, they're just not in the good quality jobs that are the sign of a growing, healthy economy. So progress, but we got more work to do. So what are we gonna do in the report? The report is gonna compile and analyze critical data to provide a clear evidence-based narrative for Oklahoma's economic position. Where are we at? Where do we stand today, and where do we wanna go? The second thing, we're gonna identify key issues that we have to address in order to make Oklahoma's competitiveness for real. And then the third thing is, if we have that competitiveness framework, that informs the strategic decisions about where and how Oklahoma should position itself as a top-tier location for investment in business and for talent to come here. So you say, well, why do you focus on competitiveness? Well, focusing on competitiveness is vital for driving sustainable economic growth and enhancing the quality of life in Oklahoma. A competitive environment attracts investment. It fosters innovation. It creates jobs. And ultimately, it leads to increased prosperity for Oklahoma for years to come for all the residents of the state. And so by identifying those key drivers of competitiveness, we can develop targeted strategies, we at the Chamber, working with you all, key strategies that position Oklahoma to become the premier destination for business and talent. So this report is going to be more than just a report that we use at the State Chamber. We want it to be a vital tool for Oklahoma leaders, helping them focus on the priorities that truly matter without being sidetracked by fleeting trends and distractions. And then maybe perhaps most importantly, this will equip us to act swiftly when opportunities arise that align with our long-term strategic vision. So, in short, the effort is about ensuring that every move we make is deliberate, focused, and aimed at propelling Oklahoma to greater economic success. So, over the coming months, you're going to hear us talk a lot about this initiative. We're going to engage all you in helping us take this data and then turn it into action. So we're going to be counting on you, our business leaders, our partners, the legislators, the policymakers, the governor's team that are in the room to make sure that we put together the best strategy to make sure that Oklahoma's best years are still ahead of us. So while we align those efforts and we focus on what truly matters, we can really transform Oklahoma into one of the most competitive states in the nation. We're super excited about it, and you're going to hear a lot about it from us over the coming years.